Okay, so you're going through this learning curve with other organizations. You're seeing how the business works. You're seeing the software, how it is implemented, the selling techniques used, things like that. Where did you start developing that idea that there's a problem out here and we could develop a business around this and be a little bit unique? How did that incubate in your mind?
Yeah, I've always had an entrepreneurial side to me. Even like going back to my teens, I was the kids shoveling snow and driving my dad's truck around with a lawnmower and landscaping stuff in the summer. So I just liked, I don't know, that was just always natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, when I was at my prior employer, they actually, it was right in the pandemic, and in early 2020, I remember a manager came to me and said, "Hey, we literally just staffed up your team. What's the worst case scenario look like, right, for the sales organization overall in your mind, and what does it look like for the pre-sales team, the solution architecture team?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, usually our role is pretty protected, right? Like we're the last people to go. But in 2020, it's like you never knew it was going to happen. And it actually wound up being a wonderful year for SaaS. It was a wonderful year for technology. Like in a lot of ways, it spooled digital transformation for folks big time. Like people that were using green screen technology, they realized like, oh, we can't work from home. There's no way to remote into this old IBM server. So it was a great year. We actually wound up hiring more and growing a lot. But I couldn't get that idea out of my head. Like, what would I do? And in technology, a lot of people, when they think of working in a technology or working in tech, they think of big tech, Google, Oracle, Salesforce, right? Massive behemoth organizations. The reality, though, is that there's like a massive market of small and mid-sized enterprise software companies. It could be like the one I worked for in Connecticut, 10 people. The one I worked for in North Jersey before starting this company that was 250 people, 40 million in revenue. Like there's a ton of that out there. And those size companies, especially within an ecosystem like Acumatica, you got different parties, right? There's the publisher that makes the software, and then a channel of resellers that are supposed to go out and sell it and implement it. It's like your typical distributor model.
Right.
But there's that model actually is why our business thrives. That model is why, a lot of times the publisher looks at the channel and says, hey, channel partners, you should be doing this. And then the channel partners look at the publisher and say like, yeah, we'll start, but you should also support us in doing that. And that's really what we do. We just fill in gaps that exist in that family of companies, in that ecosystem of technology between the publisher and the channel. So that was an idea I just couldn't get out of my head. And I started the company, mid 2021, basically.
Okay. So what was the catalyst that said, this is the time, this is where I take the plunge, I'm making the move?
It was really a terrible time to make the move because we had just had a second child. So, it was interesting conversations with my wife, Brittany, trying to tell her like, hey, I know we're having a second kid. I think we should do this now, but it just seemed like a good time to do it. If I was going to ever step out and actually give it a whirl, it just seemed like a good time in our life where there wasn't going to be a lot of other change. Like we weren't planning on moving again. It seemed outside of adding to our family, it seemed like a relatively stable time for me. If I was going to do it, I was either going to do it then. Because you got to think mid 2021, I already sat on that idea for 6 to 12 months and was slowly forming that over the year. So for me, it was go time.
Hi, Ted Wolf here. I want to thank you for joining us for this Implementors video. The Implementors podcast is presented by Guidewise, where we, along with our vetted member community, recognize that ideas are easy, but implementation is hard. To learn more about getting things done with Guidewise, please visit us at guidewise.io. And to conquer your implementation struggles, please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. Happy implementing.